Welcome to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. So there was a lot of news in the New York sports market. I guess we can go over the obvious one with the better team in New York, and that is the New York Yankees. I know we already went over it before. Carlos Rodon has signed with the Yankees. Jayden, I already got Rodrick's opinion on it. So, what is your reaction to the Yankees signing Carlos Rodon?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy. I was like, I didn't think that was actually gonna happen for real. We did talk about this last week. Um, the Yankees doing something big. Did not expect that at all. I thought they would make a trade. I did not think they were gonna make this big signing right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were hearing news that apparently they were far apart on a deal, and I didn't really think how Steinbrenner would get it done at all. I thought the Yankees probably would go and make a move bigger than Rodon. Apparently, that's what Michael Kay was saying. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but whatever. Now we're gonna go into some football. We'll come back to the Mets and stuff later. I know they did sign a catcher. You know what? We could just do that real quick. Rodrick, what catcher did the Mets sign?
All right, so the Mets signed Omar Narvaez to a 2-year, $15 million deal. Left-handed bat, good defensive catcher. He was in the 89th percentile of catcher framing last year, so he's a good defensive catcher. Brings some stability behind the plate, gives the Mets some depth. But this move really just means that James McCann is no longer going to be a Met. He's probably going to get either traded or released. He's owed about what, $20 more million over the next 2 years because he signed a 4-year deal for like $40 million. So it's probably his time here is probably done. He was never really good. He had little spurts, but he wasn't never really consistent. So the Mets are probably going to move on from him. And heading into the season, it's going to be Nito, uh, Narvaez, and then probably Alvarez. Which I'll be interested to see who gets the majority of the catching time behind the plate.
Do you think he's gonna get traded? Like a big trade's gonna happen?
I don't think it'll necessarily be a big trade, but I think he's going to get offloaded. Like what people have been saying is that they move on from Carrasco and McCann, and they send them to a team like I don't know, maybe Cincinnati, where they can offload their deals, save some money, and then maybe go back into the free agency market and pick up another pitcher if
Yeah,
needed.
that'd be a good move.
Yeah, we'll see what they do there.
Yes, for sure. And you can even argue maybe another bat too. I've been saying this. I feel like the Mets do need, maybe one more impact bat, but you can't really find that on the free agent market right now because with the news today of Dansby Swanson signing with the Cubs, and then also yesterday Yankees or now former Yankee outfielder Andrew Benintendi has left to sign with the Chicago White Sox, 5 years, 75. I mean, like I said before, I don't. The Yankees were just not willing to go 5 years on Benintendi. I think they could have done the deal, but he's a little. He had a good year in that contract year, so I can see why the Yankees are maybe And I think Benintendi too. Maybe he's not as much of a New York type of guy. I don't think he ever really was. But hey, he was good here, when he was playing with us. So it's whatever. Now the Yankees are going to have to switch gears, maybe look at guys like Michael Conforto. I know both of you, have experience with Michael Conforto, or possibly I don't know what other outfielder is there that's pretty decent that's available right now. Rodrick, is there any other outfielders the Yankees could target?
Well, besides the obvious one being Brian Reynolds, in regards to free agency, like you said, I really don't know anybody off my head that would kind of be something the Yankees go after. But speaking of outfielders, you've been talking about Aaron Hicks and his contract and how he played the last little bit here. Don't get mad, just relax. But maybe the Yankees can get off of his contract because they've been pretty stingy with money. Not stingy, but they've been what's the word? A little less spending active. So we'll see if they get off of his contract. I feel like Yankees fans will probably rejoice at that news. They do get rid of him. So
Him and Josh Thompson. Yeah, like exactly. And just going back onto your point, yeah, like Brian Reynolds, like it's now apparently the Pirates. I don't think they're serious about trading him because apparently they want a Soto like deal. You're not doing that for Brian Reynolds. Like, let's be real here. Two-time All-Star, yeah, he's a good player, but for Brian Reynolds, so what? The Yankees are going to give up like either Volpe or Peraza. What? They're going to probably want Jason Dominguez too. I don't know if I'd be willing to do that for Brian Reynolds. Don't get me wrong. Brian Reynolds is a good player, but he is not Juan Soto. Jayden, can I just get your take on that?
That's crazy. I don't know what they're thinking there. Like, you have to be out of your mind if you think you're gonna make a big trade like that, including for that kind of guy. Like, that's crazy. He's not Soto. He's definitely not him.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Soto was he had a down year, you could say, but still, like the guy, he's a champion basically. Brian Reynolds hasn't won anything. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. A Soto like deal. Why would any team do that, including the Mets too? If they were like, hey, maybe we can kick. Why would they do that? And Rodrick, how do you feel? I'm just saying this, but how do you feel about your chances of getting Shohei Ohtani?
Just that sentence makes me happy. But chances. So we've been talking, or I've been hearing, in the Mets community about Steve Cohen as an owner. He had some comments today at the I think Kodai Senga press conference where he was talking about getting Correa, and he was talking about giving him a big deal and trying to bring him to Queens. He liked the tweet that was like, bring Correa to the Mets, It was all coming together, but it didn't happen because the Giants overpaid for him and they gave him too much. So, but it was showing that Steve Cohen would be willing to go over the luxury tax and just say F it and just spend however much money needed. So going into next offseason, saying the Angels that they don't extend Ohtani, which one, why would they, just from where they are as a franchise, and two, why would Ohtani want to stay there? But let's say they don't get a deal done and he goes into the free agency market. I mean, the Mets are going to, for sure, they're going to be the top team, I guess, rumored to be after him. And I see no reason for them not to be after him anyway. I mean, the versatility he brings, bring him to Queens, is going to put people in seats. You're going to get all the revenue. Like, you're going to have Ohtani as a Met. Him in pinstripes, that just looks great. It sounds great. I love hearing it. Our chances, oh my goodness. I want to be optimistic and say 60-40. I think we have a 60% chance to get him because I don't know who else. I mean, besides the obvious teams, but like who else would really need him and who else would really want to spend what, $400, maybe even $500 million on him. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Just to go off of that, I would probably put it at 40-60 for the Mets. Just because of the Dodgers. That's who I would put as like the favorite, and then the Mets would be right under that. Because when you look at the Dodgers, they haven't done really anything this offseason. Like, I don't know. Like, they've been kind of just like, clearing payroll now and just letting guys go. Trey Turner left, Cody Bellinger non-tendered him. So I think, and given that Shohei Ohtani apparently does still like being on the West Coast and that factor, he wouldn't have to really move that far. I would just put the Dodgers at first, but then I would put the Mets at a very close second. I think I would. Because, Steve Cohen, he doesn't care. He'll spend like a drunken sailor to get him if he needs to. It's just going to depend on if Shohei does want to come to the East Coast. He didn't want to come to the East Coast originally, with the Yankees and stuff. Maybe he sees that, hey, if I want to win, maybe that just doesn't matter, and he'll change his mindset. We don't know yet. So, Jayden, what's your take on possibly getting Shohei Ohtani?
The chances, probably, I would say 50%. It's just all depending. That's all it is. As you just said, it just depends if he really wants to play on the East Coast. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think we can just switch gears here to some football. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Russell.
No, go ahead.
I just had to let Rodrick know that the Rangers did win tonight, and they're up in the standings.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Just had to say that real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, Russell.
No. We can go on to that like a little real quick. So yes, the Rangers did beat the Flyers 6-3. It's nice to see. The Devils, I don't know what they're doing. One of our friends are at the game right now. They're losing currently. I'm pretty sure, isn't it 3-1, right, Rodrick? Yeah. The Devils, they've been on he's watching it right now. They've been on a losing streak. It's been pretty bad. Rodrick, just give me like a quick little take on the Devils losing streak.
That, but just to put my nose in the water for a little bit, you can't score right now. I think we have, as of right now, 3 goals in our last 3 games, which, let me just do the math on that. It's awful. And yeah, we're not scoring. And as Jesper Bratt just shot the puck 57 feet wide of the net, no offense. Not that we're not getting chances, we're just not scoring. The goaltending's been fine. It hasn't been like we've gotten bad goaltending. The defense, besides Damon Severson, which, that guy. But you can't score. And if you can't score, you can't win.
Yeah, exactly. And we know on Monday who did beat the Devils.
Shut up.
You know who did? Because the Rangers do have, a better record against the Devils in the last few years. But I'm not going to go into that. Anyways, let's switch gears to some football. I'll let Rodrick, sit depressed over there thinking about his Devils and stuff.
Yeah,
so there was some breaking news yesterday. Before we get into anything else, there was some breaking news. Apparently, Zach Wilson is starting tomorrow against the Detroit Lions. Mike White, he tried to go to 11 different doctors and still couldn't get cleared. I don't know what's wrong with him. But this is going to be tough now. Before, I had the Jets. I was like, okay, their defense, they can still. Zach Wilson, I don't know. Jayden, how do you feel about Zach Wilson going into this game?
I feel like he might be more ready watching Mike White, but I still have, my doubts about him playing a good game. The Detroit Lions have been on a winning streak. They did beat the New York Giants. They almost beat the Vikings. I mean, not the Vikings. They did beat the Vikings. They almost did beat Buffalo. So, Detroit has been really nice. I'm sorry, Rodrick. Sorry about bringing up the Vikings. But Detroit really has been on a winning streak, and they're fighting for a playoff chance right now. The Jets with Zach Wilson, I don't know, man. He just doesn't look like a franchise QB. He looks more of a guy that's in there for a couple of years, and then you trade him for something better. Like how the Jets had Geno Smith. Geno Smith wasn't a guy for the Jets, got traded, ended up being a bench player, and now he's in Seattle doing his thing. That could be Zach Wilson. Depending on what happens this game tomorrow, that's all I got to say.
Rodrick, you're shaking your head. Do you disagree?
Yeah, because I think Geno Smith's a very rare case, so it's kind of hard to, I guess, say somebody's going to be like him. And also, it's also that Zach Wilson has never really shown us that he's this great quarterback. If you even look at Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold had games where you're like, okay, we see why this guy was drafted high. But Zach Wilson, do you remember Zach Wilson having a game where he, carried the Jets?
No. Maybe one. I remember
last year.
It was last year, though. It wasn't this year. So, yeah.
Exactly. So he hasn't really progressed at all. He got benched for Mike White, which – I mean, we all love Mike White here, but really, Michael White, come on. Let's be real now. Mike White, come on.
Yeah, he's no Kirk Cousins, Oh,
you can't slander his name, bro. You can't slander his name.
I'm not slandering his name. Whoa. I'm literally giving you credit. I'm giving you credit. Okay. Now speaking of the Vikings, real quick, we can go into that. Rodrick,
we don't have to. We don't.
I don't think he wants to talk about it right now, Russell.
Yeah, I'm sure we can save that for maybe next week when we
see my name. That's all you got to.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, great comeback, but horrible game.
Yeah, seriously, giving up that many points to Jeff Saturday's
All right.
I mean, Matt Ryan gave up a lead just like he did in the Super Bowl. So
I mean, it wasn't really Matt Ryan; it was the defense.
No,
I mean that is true too.
Matt Ryan did choke, but their defense, how do you, Right. I'm not. Moving. Yeah, moving on. So there's another topic you guys want to talk about, and that is Brock Purdy. So who wants to go first on Brock Purdy?
I would love to go first. Brock Purdy, bro. Oh my gosh. What the hell is going on in San Fran? That kid has so much energy. His vibe is crazy. I could tell looking at George Kittle in a post game interview that he loves that kid. That kid has came out as a 7th round pick as a Mr. Irrelevant and did his thing. He has all the confidence in the world, and he's a 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant. Going into the season, he did not think he was going to get a chance to play, as a Mr. Irrelevant QB. So just seeing that kid come in, doing his thing, winning games for San Fran is crazy. And I just love it. I mean, people could say, "Oh, well, it's the offense. They have so many weapons, Debo, George Kittle," but this kid has came in and did what he needed to do with the game plan and other different things, and I love that.
Rodrick, let me get your thoughts on Brock Purdy.
Yeah, kind of playing off of what Jayden said about people saying that it might just be the weapons. I feel like the Niners have always been a quarterback away from being an unstoppable team, and when you get quarterback play like Brock Purdy, who Trey Lance is pretty raw, so we'll leave him out of this. But Jimmy Garoppolo's been pretty average. Like, he's never really, took that next step. So we're going to go like Brock Purdy, who comes in. He has the energy, like Jayden said. He has the team fired up and ready to play for him. I mean, especially combined with that defense, it's just who really wants to play them? And I know we'll probably get into a little bit later about the playoff outlook, but the Niners are either going to get the 3 seed or the 2 seed, and the Giants or Washington's going to get the 6 or the 7. That's pretty much how it's going to play out. So if you're the Giants, do you really want to go to Santa Clara in the wild card round? No. I mean, it's just not a favorable matchup, and I don't know who can knock off that team that's a Walker team. I mean, maybe Dallas, but Dallas can get stymied offensively. So the Niners are just looking like a wagon right now, and I really don't want to play them. I'm hoping somebody knocks them out. Like, Giants, do me a solid, please.
Okay. Well, just to say one thing, you did call Jimmy G average. He's been having a pretty above average season. I just want to bring that up. Like, for what, but yes, he is. He has like 16 touchdowns on year, 4 interceptions. Okay. He's not, he's not playing as bad as last year. But like, moving on, you are right. You're correct. Now, going back onto that playoff picture and stuff, if I'm a Giant fan, I don't think Minnesota's a favorable matchup. I don't think the 49ers are a favorable matchup. If I had to be honest, though, if I had to pick where I'd rather go at this point, it would be Minnesota. Like, San Francisco, they're looking really scary right now. I don't know if any NFC wildcard team, I don't even know if the Cowboys will be, we saw them lose to them last year, and the 49ers, they weren't even as good. They were not as good as this year. And now they're like, they got Brock Purdy. He's balling out. You don't have to worry about Jimmy G making those mistakes that he made last year. And if the Giants go there, they are so outmatched talent wise. It's gonna be a decimation. Now with the Vikings, we saw them give up like 36 points to the Colts. So it's like the Giants still can't match up talent wise to the Vikings, but it would be maybe a little closer, and I would give the Giants a little more of a chance. The 49ers at this point, they're really hot. I think we're going to get a 49ers Eagles NFC Championship game. I'm sorry, Rodrick, but I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't see the Vikings, even though you did win, I just do not see the Vikings going to, it depends. We'll see how everything is seated up. Jayden, did you want to say something?
Yes, I was gonna say this could be like what was it, the 2018 Super Bowl when the Eagles went, wasn't it? It was 2018, wasn't it? So it could be the Vikings versus Eagles NFC championship. I would love to see that game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to see that game happen. Only reason why, hear me out. You got the Eagles at home versus the Vikings offense. And the Vikings offense versus the Eagles defense, that's a great game. I'm just saying. I mean, that Vikings offense, they did do horrible today, very horrible. But basically, Justin Jefferson carried that team. Justin Jefferson is on I think he's on the go for 1,000 something yard season. I think he's passing Calvin Johnson or something like that with a 900 and something yards. Pretty sure. And you have Dalvin Cook. That team is great. TJ Hawkinson, I mean, he's not really the guy they give the ball to a lot, but that team has a lot of weapons on offense. Their defense is struggling right now. That's really it. But I would love to see that game. Eagles versus Vikings at Eagles home.
Okay. Okay. Me personally, I would just not want to see that game for like a few reasons. One, because obviously I just don't want it. I don't want to see Philadelphia win any games. I'm a Giant fan. And then two, I don't want to have to really root for Rodrick's favorite team to go to the Super Bowl. And while and then I'm gonna have to hear from them if they do win. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear from Rodrick. I really don't. And then I just can't. If I watch, I'll root for the Vikings too, and then that'll be the game they actually lose too. Knowing them, they'll probably lose again. Like you guys, what was the score? Like 7-30 something. What was the score again, Rodrick?
Shut up! No.
I think I think it would be closer this year if they did meet up. But Justin Jefferson, like you said, Rodrick, I'm pretty sure he's going for 2,000 yards, correct? He has 1,500 right now. Am I correct? Just stat check me on that. But I'm pretty sure he's getting pretty close to 2,000 yards. You don't see that very often. I'd probably say Justin Jefferson. Oh, okay. Yes, Rodrick.
Yeah, just to fact check you, he had 123 today on 12 receptions. He's at 1,623 for the season. Heading into today, with the 4 games left, he needed to average 125 to get to 2K. And I think he needed 115 each game to pass Calvin. So he's on pace to kind of get to 2K or on pace to break Megatron's record and then get to 2K. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and I mean, he can definitely do that. He's next week he'll be facing a Giants secondary that is god awful. Don't get me started on that. See more in the Giants pregame for me killing the Giants secondary. But anyways, we can segue here into just the playoff outlook as a whole. We can go into the AFC too. So Jayden, do you just want to give us some predictions maybe?
For predictions, I would want to say Kansas City at number 1. If Buffalo loses tonight, that would be amazing. Then I would love to see Miami at 3. Then I would have liked to see 4. I don't know. I don't really know. 4 would probably be. Damn, I'm trying to think right now. 4.
Go ahead, Rodrick.
4 would be the Titans, and I'm guessing your 2 would be the Bengals.
Wait, so you think the Bills are going to lose, Jayden? I mean,
yeah, I do. I really do.
They're leading at halftime right now.
Is there any
Hey, don't give up on Miami.
Me personally, I want to see Buffalo get the number 1 seed just because I don't want to see another game at Arrowhead, to be honest. I would rather see it in Buffalo just for a change. We saw it two times. I would just like to see a little change here. Jayden, so do you have any predictions for the wild card team? So like with the Jets, the Chargers, I just have a question. So do you think the Dolphins are going to win the division? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do. Okay, hear me out. The reason I'm saying this though is because I think Miami's they have a great offense. And that's okay. You can laugh.
No, I'm laughing at Rodrick. I was laughing.
But Miami has a great offense. Second reason I think is Buffalo isn't a bad team. I'm not saying that. I just think that Buffalo has their ups and downs in games. And as you can see, hear me out. As you can see, they versed the Jets defense. The Jets defense had them for the 2 first games they played. Both of the games they played at the Jets defense stopped them from scoring a lot of points. Not a lot of defenses could do that. But if Buffalo runs into a defense that's on a hot streak, Buffalo's in trouble. And that's for sure. And for Miami, they have Tyreek Hill and they have all these other players. Their defense isn't that bad. They got Bradley Chubb. They got a lot of different guys on that defense. But I feel like that Buffalo, if they run into that defense that's able to stop them, they're in big trouble.
Okay. Before I respond to that, Rodrick, how do you feel about the Dolphins possibly beating out Buffalo for the division?
Well, it obviously starts tonight in the second half, but I don't like their chances. I also just think that Miami isn't, how do I say, not great. I think that their team has a lot of flaws, especially on the defense side of the ball. They don't really have an established run game, so I mean they're obviously gonna make the playoffs unless they just absolutely choke. But I don't see them winning the division, and to be honest, I don't know if they're gonna win more than one playoff game. I mean, if they're not gonna win the division, you're probably gonna go up against what?
The Titans, maybe. I think they can beat the Titans. I think
you can beat the Titans, but after that, the Chiefs, no.
the Bills. No.
You're already seeing that. No, the Bengals. That's even worse. You're not beating Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Let's be real now. So
the Ravens. I would like to see that rematch. To be honest, Jayden.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot to put Cincinnati in my top 2.
Yeah,
but Cincinnati's a great team. I forgot about that team. Not gonna lie. They have not been as good as everybody thought they were gonna be this year. I mean, you could talk about the NFC West too with the Rams. Everybody thought the Rams were gonna have a great year. They got Bobby Wagner and stuff like that. But getting back to the AFC, they're a sneaky team. I mean, let's be honest. Like beginning the season, they were not looking that good. They did not have a lot of crazy plays going on. They weren't talked about a lot. Came out of nowhere and just are on a run now. They beat the Chiefs. I'm a Chiefs fan, by the way. I do not like that at all, but it happens. But that team is great. I forgot to put them on number 2, but they're definitely a number 2 team. Cincinnati. I think they're probably going to make the Super Bowl again. I hate saying that, by the way. I hate saying that, but it could happen.
Okay. All right. So, I said I'll give my prediction for the AFC. I'll just do that. I'm not doing it for the NFC because the Giants. I'm not touching it. All right. For the AFC at number 1, I'm taking Buffalo. I think Buffalo will beat the Dolphins tonight, and I think they will just run the table. Now at number 2, I think I'll put the Chiefs at number 2. They have a pretty easy schedule. They're facing the Texans this week. They're going to face the Broncos again. They'll face the Seahawks. They're still facing them at home. I think the Chiefs, 2nd seed. Now, at number 3, I would go Bengals. I don't think the Ravens are winning the division. I just don't at this point. I think the Ravens will still get in. That you'll see where I put them. But the Ravens, they've been just floundering at this point. They did lose to the Browns too. The Bengals, they're getting hot at the right time. Again, we saw it last year. I put Bengals at 3. And then at number 4, I'm going to say the Titans. They're okay. That division is really bad. I can even see, Jacksonville maybe even putting a tiny bit of pressure on them somehow. But I think the Titans will win that division. Now at number 5, I'll put Miami there. I think they'll beat the Packers. Maybe they should be able to beat a team like the Packers. They'll be at home. The Patriots will be tough, but Tua always beats the Patriots, and then they face the Jets at home. I think they'll beat the Jets. So now here's where it all gets tough. I'll put the Ravens at 6. I think the Ravens do just get in. I think they'll go 10-7. I think they're losing that last game to Cincinnati for the division, to be honest. I think they are. And so here is the last wild card spot. This is very tough. You got teams like the Chargers, the Patriots. It's the Jets too. Now I'm just going to go by elimination here. I'm going to eliminate the Jets from this. I just don't see the Jets going 10-7, honestly. I think they're going to go 9-8 and just miss out. That Miami game, that's basically, I can see them flexing that game too, because if, that game could decide who gets a wild card spot. If, let's say at that time, Miami is 10-6, and then at that time, the Jets, they're 9-7. Or no, 9-6. So it just depends, what happens. So that game, they could flex that, and then I think they're going to lose to the Lions this week, to be honest. Zach Wilson, I don't really trust him against the Lions. I'm just being honest here. I really don't. And they still have to go to Seattle. I know they haven't been as hot, as of late, but it's still tough playing there. The Jets, they don't have an easy schedule. Now, next, I'm gonna eliminate the Patriots. I'm gonna eliminate the Patriots because their offense is so one-dimensional. We know what they do, run, pass, screen, run, pass, screen. So I think they'll finish the year 9-8, especially because they're facing Buffalo that last game of the year when Buffalo is going to be going for that 1 seed. And I don't see Buffalo really resting guys. I think they just miss it. And then the team that I think gets in that final 7 spot, or depending on the tiebreaker, I don't know if they'll have the tiebreaker over the Ravens, but that's the Chargers. The Chargers do have a pretty easy schedule out of those 3 teams. They do face the Titans. Then they also have the Broncos last game of the year. They have the Rams, and the Colts. Those are games you can win, especially if you win tomorrow against the Titans. I can see them getting in because they'll be 8-6 at that point. I see the Chargers sneaking in. I don't think they'll blow it this time. You never know, but still, I think the Chargers get in. All right.
The Chargers getting in. Sorry. The Chargers getting in is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, because if you look at it, the Chargers have a lot of injuries. Not injuries right now, but a lot of their players get injured. And that's one thing I feel like that's stopping the Chargers. Like, a lot of their players get injured, and that's crazy to me. They could, at the end of the season, you never know who's gonna get injured next. The Jets. I don't know. The Jets are hard to say because I don't really think I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll lose in the first round. Because they're not prepared to be in a playoff. They're not prepared to be a playoff team. The Patriots are a great team. They just don't. No, wait. The Patriots are a great team, but they don't have
a great team.
No, they're not a great team, but they're a good team.
I don't even know if I'd say good. They're okay.
Time out. The Patriots are a good team because they still have Bill Belichick. I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about that. Bill Belichick is their head coach. He has always made a way to make the playoffs. Think about that. No matter what team he's at.
Okay,
but he has
made it last year. They got destroyed by Buffalo. Do we want to?
Okay. This is true, but look, they'll make it to the wild card. They'll lose to the wild card too. But I'm saying that they'll always sneak away. They'll always get in the playoffs, no matter what. Last year they got in the playoffs and they had a horrible season. I don't think they in my eyes, they had a horrible season. They had Mac Jones. He's a rookie. Comes in, he does his thing, but they didn't really have that many weapons. I mean, they picked up guys, but those guys weren't really big playmakers. Roger's reaction is killing me. But yeah, those guys weren't really big playmakers. And I mean, Patriots, they have Bill Belichick. He's one of the great head coach of all time. He's going into the Hall of Fame if you think about it. He always finds a way for them to get to the playoffs, and that's one thing I just wanted to say.
Okay. Now, just going back onto the Patriots real quick here. Yeah, sure. Bill Belichick is a great head coach, but you know who's not great? Matt Patricia, their offensive coordinator. Like I said before, you can see Rodrick's face right there. Literally, their offense is so one-dimensional. It's literally run, screen, run, screen, run, screen. It's the same thing over and over again. That's why I'm saying if they can get in, it wouldn't surprise me, but they are definitely a first-round exit. It's not even
sure.
debatable.
I agree with that. Matt Patricia's a horrible coach. We know this. He coached Detroit. Detroit had horrible offense. They were not good at all. So I can definitely agree with that. But they'll definitely make it to the wild card somehow, and then they'll lose.
Okay. All right. So now moving on. So does anyone have any hot takes about this week? Rodrick, I know you love having hot takes. So do you have any hot takes this week?
Any hot takes off my head? I think that let's see here. I think that the Lions streak ends. I think Zach Wilson has a big game. Not a big game, but he does enough, a very respectable stat line. And he carries them to a win 27-24. And I think the Jets keep their playoff hopes alive. I think they defend their home turf and they get it done.
Okay, so Jayden, do you have any hot takes?
Hot takes. The Giants. What are the Giants versus this week? I forget.
We play Washington
Washington.
on,
The
on
Giants.
Sunday night football.
The Giants. I forgot about that game. The Giants are gonna definitely win that game somehow. The reason I say this, the Giants are going to have to find their identity. Let's be real. If the Giants want to be a playoff team, they have to find their identity right now. Daniel Jones, he hasn't been bad this season, surprisingly, he hasn't been that bad, and it's hard for me to say that. But they had to find their identity. Like you can't just keep giving the ball to Saquon Barkley and making him, get touchdowns. That's what's holding the Giants back. But I do believe that they'll find a way to win this game against Washington. Not saying Saquon Barkley's a bad runner. I'm saying that they're using him too much to not open up the passing game. If you open up the passing game more, you open up the running game, and they'll have more TDs. But they just have to find their identity this week, and that's what I think is going to happen.
Rodrick.
I think it kind of goes the opposite way with the running game helping the passing game. When I look at this Washington Giants game, I see two teams that are defensively minded, and teams that want their defense to, keep them in ball games and keep it close, so their offense can do just enough to win the game. So, I think the Giants can feed Saquon Barkley, let him eat, let him start to get going, and that opens up the passing game. Because when your defense is focused on Barkley, 26, that opens it up for wide receivers. So, I think if they get Barkley going, the Giants can kind of run the table and, secure that, sixth spot.
Russell, you've been watching the Giants this season, right?
Yes.
You have, unfortunately. You can't not lie. They give the ball to Saquon Barkley or they run the ball to another running back all the time, right? Okay, then. So, coming off of Rodrick, he's totally wrong with this. There's no way to – I'm being real with you, Rodrick. There's no way that's going to work. If you look at the past games, ever since they lost to the Lions, every team has been stuffing Saquon Barkley. He has not touched 100 yet. Since what? Before the Lions game, he hasn't touched 100. And the rest of the season, they have to find the passing game. Kenny Golladay, they paid him that big contract. He is not doing one thing on that team. So I feel like they have to find a passing game. If they find it, they'll be much better. No matter if it's the tight ends getting into it more or something with the screens, with the receivers or something. But you have to get the ball out of Saquon Barkley's hands first for a little bit. Just for the first couple of plays, and then third down, give it to Saquon Barkley. Second down, you give it to Saquon Barkley. We have to give the passing game a chance to make that work.
Okay. I'm going to go off of both of your points here. So, Jayden, you are definitely correct in the Giants basically overworking Saquon earlier in the year. I think that is pretty clear now. Like you said, he hasn't touched 100 since what, like Houston or like probably before that, Jacksonville, one of those games. So I definitely agree with that point. Now, going on to the Giants pass game, it's tricky because when the Giants do pass the ball, here's the thing. They don't have any receivers. I know Kenny Golladay is getting paid all that money, but at this point, he's not playing. We're not giving him touches, and we're just not doing that. So we don't have the talent. We don't have the wide receiver talent to really open up the pass game. That's why it's a very difficult situation with the Giants. The Giants, they have to play mistake-free football to win. That's just if they're gonna win a game, it has to be almost perfect for the Giants. You can't have guys dropping passes, Darius Slayton, Kenny Golladay. You can't have that. And then Saquon is going to have, like what Rodrick said, Saquon is going to have a big game. He hasn't had one in a while. So he really needs to tap into that earlier, first 7 games Saquon. The Giants are really going to need that if they want to beat Washington. And then, yes, the passing game too, that is going to have to get opened up. But it's kind of tough when Daniel Jones is throwing the practice squad receivers and guys like Richie James and stuff. It's tough. So, if you give Daniel Jones, Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and KJ Osborne and stuff, I'm sure Daniel Jones would probably be succeeding, on the Vikings. If you give Daniel Jones, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, he'd probably be succeeding right now. It's true. Before Rodrick, you're making that face, but last season, Eagle fans were like, wondering if Jalen Hurts was the guy and stuff before AJ Brown. It's true. They got AJ Brown, and now look at him. It's true. Literally, Eagle fans were like, I don't know about Jalen Hurts. What? Go ahead.
Well, I like to say this. The year before, the Eagles made the playoffs. The Giants did not. So Jalen Hurts obviously led that team to a playoff berth. Daniel Jones is not. I don't know what you're trying to get at by saying if they had better weapons, like what that would, change for Daniel Jones. I don't think that he's that good of a quarterback. I don't think if you gave him Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson, I don't think that he'd be exponentially, but like he'd have better stats. But the Giants would probably be where they are right now. So I don't think it's more weapons. I think it's more of a quarterback. And honestly, the Giants might need to target a wide receiver with their first pick in the upcoming draft. That's
okay. Daniel Jones isn't the best QB in the league. You all know this. This is a fact. You all know this. But I agree with Russell. If you give him the weapons, he'll succeed. Look at this. Look at the beginning of the year, bro. Look at the beginning of the year. Saquon Barkley, they go in versus the Titans, give the ball to Saquon Barkley, they win the game. And they have Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard was carrying that receiver core before he got injured towards ACL against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. If you look back before that, they had a passing game. They had Sterling Shepard, even though he's one guy. You have Sterling Shepard, then you have Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield. They had, I think, was it David Bellinger? Was it
David Bellinger? Yeah.
Yeah, it was him, right? The tight end. He's injured right now, isn't he?
He's back now, but he's been kind of on and off.
Yeah, on and off. But he was good too. So if you give him the weapons, he'll succeed. He's not. We all know this. He's not the best QB in the league. That's just a fact. But I feel like if you give him the weapons, he'll succeed. And that's all it is. The Giants next year need to make a big trade for a weapon, and it'll be good. But right now, they have to find their guy with this practice squad, or Kenny Golladay has to step up.
OBJ.
He's not signing this year.
Yeah. And if he does, he's going to the Cowboys. But
it's not even that. They said that he's not they're predicting that he's not signing to any team. He's too late.
Yeah. But then apparently Jerry Jones is saying, "Oh yeah, he'll join us for the play." We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But crazy. Just going back on to Rodrick's claim about Daniel Jones, I definitely agree with Jayden. Like when you look at Daniel Jones's numbers, you can say what you want. He still has 12 touchdown passes in 4 interceptions. That is way better. He has been better. He's cut down the turnovers and stuff too. And a lot of these games, if the Giants had, a competent receiver, the Giants would have won at least 2 more games, I would say. We would have beat Washington. He was, Darius Slayton dropping the ball twice. You can also say like against Seattle, Richie James dropping the ball. Like literally, this has always been an issue. Daniel Jones, he's not the best. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Josh Allen. Yeah, we know that. But when you get a weapon in there, a guy like if the Giants got AJ Brown instead of the Eagles, they would be going to the playoffs right now. By the way, Jalen Waddle just scored touchdown. So, but anyways, going back on to Daniel Jones, Rodrick is acting like, he's friggin' Zach Wilson or something. Like it is going to make a difference. I mean, the fact that the Giants are still where they're at right now with, this basically practice squad team, they are overperforming. Yes, I know that. But if they had a receiver, they would have at least 2 more wins. Daniel Jones, he's not a bad quarterback, and he can still run and stuff. He can get out of the pocket. That's why I brought up guys like Jalen Hurts. Like, you see last year, like they made the playoffs, sure. But like I said, Eagle fans, the Philadelphia media were literally coming after Jalen Hurts, wondering if he was the guy. They did not know that. He kind of got like carried by that Eagles defense and stuff. Like a lot of people, they were questioning Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts was so good, they would not have went out there and traded a first-round pick for AJ Brown. Let's be real here. They would not have done that. It's true. It's true. If Jalen Hurts was so good, they wouldn't have made that trade. They wouldn't have made the trade.
I feel like that's so true because Jalen Hurts coming out of that playoff game against Tampa, they lost horribly. Like that game was so bad. But now you look at them, they're a great team. they have AJ Brown, they have the running game going, they have everything going now. And if the Giants do not trade or release Daniel Jones next year, I feel like they'll do the same thing, making a big trade. Um, who do you think they'll go for, Russell? Like if they make a big trade for a receiver?
Well, it depends which receiver's available. I don't know who's going to be available, like, through trade and then through the free agent market too. We also don't know where the Giants are going to pick. We don't know if they're going to make the playoffs too at that. So let's say they do, miss out on the playoffs. They're going to have to, they're going to be in a spot where they have a pretty mediocre draft pick. So if you want to trade up for that, that receiver from Ohio State, maybe, trade up a few spots to try to get him. I mean, you can do that. And, because they need like a big, like, a number one receiver. They do. You can't be like Kenny Golladay. The thing with him, he always had injury concerns and stuff. And you gave him all that money. And now he's just like, you can't count on him anymore. The coaching staff has lost faith in him. We're going to cut him next year. We can't cut him this year because, the cap hit. So you can't really do it now. But it's just thanks to Dave Gettleman. He's really put this team in the right. I don't want to go on about him. But the Giants, they don't have any weapons. Like I said, if they can somehow get a number one receiver in here, Daniel Jones will be on the team next year, regardless. The Giants are not picking a quarterback. They're not bad enough to do that. They're not going to sign one. What? They're going to sign freaking Geno Smith? Why would they do that? You may as well just keep Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will be a free agent, but I think Daniel Jones, you sign him to a 2-year deal. You get an actual number one receiver. You see what he can do. I think this team could make the playoffs next year. Now,
I feel like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like the Giants. If we're talking about receivers and trades, I know it'd be a hassle. Probably Tyler Lockett. I know it'd probably be a hassle to get him, but you give up a nice first rounder, probably 2 first rounders. 2 first rounders.
Or Tyler Lockett, I don't know.
I mean, look at. Okay, I feel like he's doubted a lot. If you think about it, they have DK Metcalf. So they're everybody's game planning for DK. Tyler Lockett, he is a great receiver, but we don't see a lot of production out of him. Even when they had Doug Baldwin, they didn't see a lot of production out of him. But he's a great receiver. He's just not known because he's not one of those big guys that are gonna have a great game. But he'll get open. You get him the ball, he'll get open. He'll score a TD. He gets you the yards. He gets you the first down. That's a great guy, and he's very reliable. Another guy, Curtis Samuel in Washington. He is rotting there. His talent is just rotting there. You have Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's getting, he's getting all of the big plays. And he's doing all of that. Curtis Samuel's not really the receiver one. And they have Jahan Dotson now, so they'll probably try to move on from Curtis Samuel. I feel like.
Okay. One, Curtis Samuel, that's one that's not happening because they're within the same division. I don't think Washington would do that. And then 2, I don't think anyone really sees Curtis Samuel as like a big number one receiver. Like, you know what I mean? Like the upper like tier. Like it would be almost like a Kenny Golladay type of thing. I'm like, it's, And then who's the other receiver you said?
Tyler Lockett.
Okay, Tyler. Okay, 1, you're not giving up 2 first-round picks for Tyler Lockett, and then here's why: because the Giants are still rebuilding. You are still in a rebuild. You still need, you still have a bunch of needs too. Besides receiver, you still have to get a linebacker at that, too, a middle linebacker preferably. The Giants, their linebacking core, it's nowhere to be seen during games. Besides Azeez Ojulari, it's nowhere to be seen. And then, what else do we need? Probably a number one corner. They can't. I don't think the Giants can really afford to trade a draft pick at this point. So it depends where they end up. I would still say maybe try to trade up, for a receiver if like one of the receivers is projected to go like maybe a little ahead of wherever you're going to land. So I would say that. But I would not trade any first round picks for a guy like Tyler Lockett, who, yeah, I know he's good, but he's still aging and stuff. And for a rebuilding Giant team, you just can't really afford to do that. So
I agree with that.
Now going into some basketball here, who should we go over first, the Knicks or the Nets?
The Knicks are surprising. Aren't they on a winning streak right now?
Yes, I know I killed the Knicks all the time. I'll still kill them. I don't care. But they're like on what, like a 6-game winning streak now?
Yeah, I think something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, RJ Barrett hasn't been that bad in the winning streak. I know we did butcher him last video. We did talk about how bad he is.
No. I have some stats, but I have some stats on RJ Barrett. We said what he is. He's not efficient, and
Yeah.
that continues. That continues. Let's go over it. Yesterday he was 9 for 20. I know he had 27 points, but the guy was 9 for 20. For crying out loud, 9 for 20. And then the game before that, 8 for 17. Okay, that's a little better. But then against the Kings, 9 for 21. The guy is not efficient. He's not efficient. I know he's scoring all these points, but still, that's an issue. He's not efficient. Yeah, Rodrick, go ahead.
You ever heard of Kobe Bryant?
Yes, I've heard of Kobe Bryant.
Have you ever watched or have you ever seen any of his stat lines?
Yes, I've seen Kobe's stat lines. What about them?
So what's different between when Kobe goes like 8 for 17?
Wait. Are you comparing Bryant?
Are you comparing Kobe Bryant to RJ Barrett?
That's what you're doing.
And they're two different positions.
I'm not. But I'm saying from a pure statistical sense, if RJ Barrett was shooting 12 for 30 and he somehow had 40 points, would you really care if he missed 18 shots? Like, people didn't care when Kobe did it, and I don't want to,
because they were winning, and they were
exactly. They're winning championships. The Knicks aren't winning anything.
But when Kobe came into the league, they were already winning, and then they just, the Knicks are not that type of team. So RJ Barrett, and to make even like, you still are making that comparison, like, bringing up Kobe Bryant.
It may seem like I am, but I'm really not, and I'm not trying to trash Kobe either. I'm just saying, from a pure statistical standpoint, if you're looking at the two stat lines from any Kobe game versus these last couple RJ Barrett games, the stats it's treated differently from player to player, which I think is interesting because both players are winning, and I don't. Your guys are like shaking your. I just.
Rodrick,
stats.
Have you watched Kobe Bryant and have you watched RJ Barrett?
No, I really don't.
Kobe Bryant
I really don't.
was pure talent. RJ Barrett is not pure talent.
RJ
Barrett has stuff to work on. You cannot say statistically wise. None of that. Please don't say it.
I don't watch basketball. Is he getting lucky? Let me know. Is it taking like 3 basketballs?
You're not. I don't know what you're talking about right now, Rodrick.
I think you guys.
Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest of all time to do it.
I'm not disputing.
And you're trying to compare RJ Barrett to him? Are you kidding me right now?
All right.
Are you serious?
Hold on.
Are you so serious right now?
Nah, because now I'm mad.
No, because that is the worst comparison you could make. You could have been like anybody else.
Nobody's comparing them. I don't even know what you're on right now.
Then why'd you bring him up?
Why'd you bring up Kobe Bryant? What does Kobe Bryant have?
You should have brought up anybody else. You should have brought up someone else, not Kobe Bryant.
Like, come on. You could have brought up anybody else, but Kobe Bryant?
Don't say that.
Who you bring up? But Kobe?
Wait, let me talk. Forget Kobe Bryant, all right? He's not even in this conversation right now. Forget him. I don't know what the big issue is with him going 9 for 20 and scoring however many points. I don't understand. I know.
Well, because no. But before this and stuff, usually he's just not efficient. And when they were losing, it would be really bad. That's why I'm bringing it up. His efficiency, it's been awful. And the Knicks right now, yeah, sure they're winning and stuff. I'll give them that. But before that, RJ Barrett, you see these games, he's going like 3 for 21. That's how bad, of a shooter he is, and scoring like 6 points. Literally, you see that. Like, right now he's hot per se, but that's for him. When you look at other guys scoring like let's say 27 points and stuff, it's a little more efficient than friggin' 9 for 20. Not 9 for 20 from the field. That's just not good, and that's not going to win you games in the playoffs. Yeah, go ahead, Jayden.
That's another thing I wanted to say. He is not taking the right shots. He is taking shots that he should not be taking. At that point, you got to get him on the bench. There's no way he should be taking these. Not saying he's a bench player. I'm saying, like, when he's taking, bad shots in the game, you should get him to the bench, talk to him, and make him like take the right shots he needs to take. 9 for 20. The reason 9 for 20 is so bad, Rodrick, is because that means you're not taking the shots that you should be taking. You're taking shots that you think you should be taking. Not statistically, not what in practice you're taking. It's shots that you think you should take because you're open and not because you're trying to share the ball. That's why we're upset about how RJ Barrett is playing.
Rodrick, what do you?
You guys just he literally just said why I brought up Kobe, and then but when I say it, everybody gets all up in arms. You literally just said it's because he's taking a shot that he thinks he's supposed to take. When Kobe was taking shots from 35 feet away, fading away, and would miss, nobody said anything. And I'm not trashing Kobe. I'm not comparing the two. But I'm trying to figure out what is the difference. No. Stop, please.
Okay, I have stats, but go ahead.
Okay. Both of them are winning games. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done. Rodrick, stop talking. Please stop. Don't talk. Don't talk, Rodrick. Don't talk.
I can't talk. I'm laughing because of your face. They're both winning games. They're both scoring some points. I don't understand what the difference is. I don't watch the games, all right? I don't know if he's taking shots that are just, like, absolutely atrocious. But, like, if he's missing open shots, that's one thing. But, like, he's not Kobe Bryant. He's nowhere close to Kobe Bryant. But, like, they're putting up the same stats. They put up the same stat lines, but they're not the same.
Rodrick,
I don't know how that works.
Rodrick, you're embarrassing yourself, Rodrick. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself.
Okay.
Oh my God, the comments on this is gonna be funny as hell. Oh my God.
Okay, so that can't be anywhere close to the truth. They are not putting up the same stats at all. You know what? Let's talk about that real quick. Okay, so with the field goal percentage here. RJ Barrett, the highest his field goal percentage has ever been was 441. And that was in the 2020 COVID year. And then when you look at Kobe, literally, he has like 469, 451, 459, 463. That's way better than RJ Barrett, and that's way more efficient than RJ Barrett. So that just goes to the original point. That's why I'm saying I don't know why you made that comparison, because Kobe's efficiency was still better than RJ Barrett, and you're saying they're still winning games. No, Kobe was winning. He was winning rings. RJ Barrett. What is RJ Barrett won? He's won one playoff game.
That's the thing. You cannot compare Kobe Bryant to RJ Barrett. Kobe Bryant. I don't care if you could bring up Shaq. I don't care if you could bring up whoever he had on his team. Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest of all time. You can say LeBron or Michael Jordan, but Kobe Bryant was one of those guys that came out of nowhere. Like, think about this. His rookie season. Listen. Kobe Bryant, I think, wasn't it in the playoffs against Utah? Kobe Bryant airballed in a series, then lost the series. Kobe Bryant came back, went crazy in the following year. RJ Barrett has not done that. He hasn't even touched that. RJ Barrett is a guy who needs to be traded, released, whatever. I'm sorry to say it. He's young. Yes, he could come back and have a great career, but right now I'm sorry, but you cannot ever do that again, Rodrick. Please don't ever compare Kobe Bryant to RJ Barrett. That seems so bad.
Move on, bro, because you guys are not realizing the point I'm trying to make here.
What's the point you're trying to make?
That's what we're confused about. Like, how are you trying to compare that?
I'm talking about stats, not names.
I just gave you stats.
You didn't let me get out.
You literally just said it.
Cutting me off like I get out 5 words and I get cut off. You let me finish my point. So
go ahead.
Finish your point, and we're going to sit here and mute and let you talk.
5 minutes ago, and they got lambast from both of you two talking about.
All right, go ahead. We won't say anything.
I'm done with the topic. We're moving forward.
No.
Go ahead, Roger. Go ahead, talk. We're listening. Finish.
I've say several times I'm not comparing the two, but apparently I'm comparing the two.
You said that already, but Roger, we're saying.
What's your point?
I said already, but you're still saying I'm comparing the two.
No, say it again. Just say your point.
You said the stats. We're talking about stats. You can't compare stats.
What's the stats, man?
Bring up the stats. Bring up the stats. Since you brought it up, bring up the stats.
Exactly.
I'm finishing this conversation.
Oh, now you don't want to talk about it. No, now you don't want to talk about it. You were the one that brought it up. You were the one that brought it. Let's see the stats, Rodrick. I want to see the stats. I want to see what stats you're talking about statistically that RJ Barrett and Kobe had the same stats. I want to see that.
Again,
I want
again,
you to
again
go
with the
back into
names, bro.
Kobe's full career and see his
You're not
stats.
focused on what I'm trying to say. You're focused on the names.
What are you trying to say then? What are you trying
Man,
to say?
that's what we're
I'm
trying
just
to
telling you,
hear.
We won't
I don't
interrupt
think
you for
it's
3 minutes. Go ahead. Make your
3
point.
minutes. You have 3
I'm
minutes.
I'm not gonna make my point because I've tried to make my point several times, but I've been cut off several times. So I'm not gonna.
Okay, we won't cut you off.
We're done. We're done. We're done talking. But if you say something that makes zero sense, we're gonna say something.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
You said go ahead, but when I start to talk, I just get cut
Rodrick,
off.
just talk. Just talk, Rodrick.
I'm not gonna do it, bro. I'm watching football right now.
Yeah, it came
Roger, we're gonna mute so you can talk. So go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. Make your point. We won't interrupt.
No, let's change the topic. This guy, come on. Let's go to the Nets.
All right, let's go to the next. All right, Nets. The Nets are going crazy. I don't know if you guys seen it. Kyrie had that game-winning 3-pointer. I think it was 3-pointer or 2-pointer against Toronto. That was wild. That was crazy. We're going and oh my gosh, the Nets. They're playing amazing right now.
Okay, so I am gonna get back into the Kobe RJ Barrett thing because I found some more stats to basically disprove the whole entire thing.
We're not done yet, I guess, bro.
I'm not gonna say it yet, but I'm just gonna go into the Nets real quick. I'm gonna go into the Nets. All right. Yes, the Nets. They've been playing out of their minds. Kyrie Irving balling out, like Stephen A. says. That brother's box office.
Yep.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that just gets me a little nervous. I feel like there's just something there when it's all going good for the Nets. We've seen it time and time again. It's going good. They're winning, and then something else is going to come out. Preferably about Kyrie. Kyrie's going to either do something, he's going to say something, and then, it's all going to go to – it's just – they're playing good right now. They're fourth in the East. I think they can definitely move up. I don't know if they will get to first. I don't know if I'd say that. They'd have to be like fully healthy all the way. I don't know if I trust the Nets to really do that. But I think them avoiding the play-in this year, that'll definitely be good for them. And as long as Kyrie, you never know with this guy. You never know because it's always something new with Kyrie. It's always something. It's always something. You just cannot trust him.
I agree with this, but Kyrie, I don't know if as long as Kyrie stays out the media, keeps to himself. I feel like after that last situation that happened with the media when he got suspended for a little bit, didn't get to play. I think he had to have meetings, right, with the people. I forgot what happened. He had to have meetings though. But I feel like after that situation, I don't think he's going to speak his mind again. I feel like he'll be very quiet. He'll be a team player. One thing I feel like that happens with the Nets too is injuries. Injuries come out of nowhere. That's one big thing. KD injured last year. Kyrie injured last year in the playoffs. Stuff like that. So now they just have to not have the injury bug. As long as they don't get the injury bug, they'll be good. As long as they don't have that and the Kyrie situations, then they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And then you got guys like, Yuta Watanabe stepping up for the Nets. You love to see it when guys can actually he was on Memphis a few years ago, I'm pretty sure. But he had 17 points last game and it was 6 for 7. You see that? That's efficient shooting. That's efficient shooting, Rodrick.
Are you listening, Rodrick?
Are you listening? That's efficient shooting. 6 for 7 and 17 points. That's efficient.
That's what RJ Barrett needs.
Exactly. Now going on, and Ben Simmons, he doesn't take a lot of shots, but 5 for 7. Last game 10 points. I mean, that's what he's gonna do, and he's been okay. He gets hurt a lot. There's always issues with him, but still, it's nice to see it all coming together for the Nets. I'm gonna knock on wood here because you never know with this team. I'm gonna say that, and then all of a sudden something's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna knock on wood. Hopefully the Nets, if they just keep this up throughout the year, maybe they can get the first seed. But usually when people are always picking the Nets and stuff like that, I've noticed that they tend to mess it up. And then it's just so I'm just going to I'm not going to stay away from them, but I'm going to be yes, they're doing good right now, but I'm not going to give them all the props in the world right now yet. I can't really do that given the prior history with the team. I can't do that yet. So and just with Kyrie, he's a ticking time bomb. Like, you will say like, yeah, he won't speak his mind, and then but he'll do something else, to get in trouble. You just don't know with that guy. So we'll see if he can. If Kyrie Irving can stay out of the news and no controversies for the rest of the season. What will I do? I'll come on here with a Mets hat.
No, but if Kyrie that stays out the media, I want you to buy a Mets jersey and wear it for a day. If Kyrie,
I can't agree to that.
Yes, Rodrick. Rodrick, what do you think about this, Rodrick?
No,
We need your opinion, Rodrick.
No.
Rodrick, speak up. Yes, he says yes. It's 2 against 1. You buy a Mets jersey, you wear it.
No. I'll compromise here. I'm not buying a Mets jersey. One, I'm not. You guys, I'll wear a Mets jersey, but you guys have to give me one. Fine, and I'll wear it for a day. I'll do.
Give him a Mets jersey. Let him wear it.
Yep, I will.
Okay, we'll do it. If Kyrie stays out in the media, Russell, you have to wear a Mets jersey for a day.
For the whole season.
Agree.
Right.
We agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree. I'll save this clip. We'll do it. I'll agree to it.
This is on recording, so you cannot sit here and say I'm not going to do it. We will bring up the video proof. This is on recording. It's too late now to turn back. It's too late now to turn back.
Yeah, Roger, go ahead.
I have a take I'd like to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kobe never finished with a field goal percentage outside of 2015 and 2016 below 425. Neither has RJ Barrett. His lowest is 402. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that I think RJ Barrett's the greatest player of all time.
I'm out. All right. Yep. This is over. This episode is over. We are deleting this episode right now. That was not said by Rodrick. Oh my gosh, the comments are going to be crazy for you, Rodrick.
It's called a joke.
Rodrick, please, in the comments, please butcher Rodrick just for saying that. Just for saying the greatest of all time, RJ Barrett. Oh, Russell, can you please bring up the stats for me, please?
Yes, I got the stats.
Oh my God.
Bring up the stats.
Listen,
I
got actual stats. So you want to talk about his field goal percentage and stuff too? Okay, that's fine. But then RJ Barrett.
I was dead joking.
No.
Talk. No, because you already said it. So now, Russell, say what you have to say.
Exactly. I'm gonna cook you right here. Let me cook. Let me cook.
Let him cook.
No, let me cook. I just want to bring up like the field goal and stuff. Like I don't care about the RJ Barrett. We know you were joking on that, and there's no way in hell you're serious about that. Like
if you're serious about that, please in the comments talk about that.
We need to get you drug tested.
We'll drop his Instagram where he can send him messages.
Russell, just like this.
Yeah. All right. Now, anyways, going on to RJ Barrett here. So the highest points per game that he had throughout a year was 20 with that field goal, percentage and stuff. And then when you look at Kobe, he's averaging, he's had a year where he averaged like 35.4 points per game, 31.6, 28.3, 28.3, 27, 27.9. This is way better than RJ Barrett. He's getting more points. And his field goal percentage is still higher than RJ Barrett for the most part. It pretty much is, besides like those last 2 years when he was like aging and stuff. We all know about that. But still, it's I don't know, like you could have brought up literally anybody else in this whole entire argument just to avoid this. I don't know why you said Kobe Bryant out of all people.
Kobe Bryant was almost what? When he retired, like when he was what, 38, 37?
Yeah.
And he was doing that. I mean, you could put on the last 2 seasons.
And RJ Barrett, like
we could put on the last 2 seasons if he really wanted to, because he's not doing that. RJ Barrett is what, 22, 23, right? So he's not even doing that right now. Rodrick, I don't know why you would ever compare a legend to a little boy. like he's like Kobe's playing. I don't even know. You can't even put Kobe in a category. Michael Jordan, all of them in a category. RJ Perry is playing middle school basketball. He's playing middle school basketball. He's trying to make the team at this point. He's just trying to stay on the team right now. Like he's playing middle school basketball. He's taking 11-year-old shots. Like this is ridiculous. Like you can never do that. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He's scoring a lot of points. We'll give him that. But he's not taking shots he should like be taking at all. Like he's taking shots that 11-year-olds are taking in middle school. Ridiculous. That's all I'll say.
Okay, Rodrick, before I let you go there, and just looking at Kobe's last year too, 22 points per game. RJ Barrett wishes he can have a year like that. So, anyways, Rodrick, what did you want to say?
I was gonna say, statistically speaking, right? That's all I've been going off this whole time. Kobe, his MVP year was 2007, 2008. He averaged 28.3 points a game with about, let's see, just trying to do this math roughly, a 459 field goal percentage, attempting about 20 field goals per game. If you look at RJ Barrett's best statistical year, which was last year, or 2021-22, he averaged 20 points, which is 8 points less than Kobe, with, let's see, about 17 field goal attempts per game. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to see if that, like, if RJ Barrett took the same amount of shots, how would that work statistically? I'm all about stats, as you can obviously tell. Like, I don't really care about RJ Barrett. But, like, just statistically speaking, like, can people put up the same stats as, like, the greats? Yeah. I think it's also fun, too. So, I don't know.
Just please never say that again in life.
Right. And also, one more thing, too. Kobe played in an era where you were actually allowed to play defense.
That is true. That I forgot about that part. That is very true. They have all these rules in place, with hand defense and stuff like that. Kobe Bryant was playing against guys that were throwing punches and they didn't get out of the game. Same with Michael Jordan. RJ Barrett is playing like elementary school basketball. Like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Kobe Bryant was playing grown man basketball at 17, 18 years old.
If you can punch somebody in the face.
Wait, I couldn't hear you, Roger. You couldn't hear
what did you say? Say that again? I didn't.
I'm saying if you punch somebody in the face, like you said for the example, how is that actual? That's not real basketball.
It's like, oh my God. That's
like not hockey. What I said. I said you were allowed to play defense and you were actually allowed to be physical.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm agreeing with Russell, but I'm just bringing up other points. That's what I'm saying.
Kobe Bryant played in you could punch somebody in the face and not get ejected. That's literally the quote you said 15 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But
it's true though. It's very true.
It's true. He played in a harder era. You want to talk about errors?
You can look up highlights on YouTube right now.
People in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You still want to get calls for that.
No,
you can't even touch guys now, and they'll be like foul for the
exactly
things.
You can't
even say stuff anymore with the you talk to your own teammates.
You guys are just not. You're not lining with what you're saying. You're saying if you touch somebody nowadays, you can't do that.
What does this have to do with Kobe Bryant and RJ Barrett? That's what I want to know. We just said that he played in a rougher era.
Apparently, those are big Kobe Bryant fanboys on his job.
No, we're not. We're just talking about who compared him to RJ Barrett.
We're saying that he's played in a harder era. That's all we said. We're not comparing. You're just saying that. And you're trying to compare RJ Barrett. Okay. I'm done. I'm not even going.
Tyreek Hill just scored a touchdown.
I just saw that. That's good for my fantasy.
Who scored a touchdown?
Tyreek.
Oh yeah, that's good for my fantasy. Thank God.
Game prediction is maybe coming to life here if Dolphins win the division. But have we touched everything? Have we gone over all of our?
Did we go over the NFC?
I mean,
we didn't go over the NFC. We'll save that for next video, I guess.
Yeah, let's do the NFC next video. No, let's do it next video because like there's still games. There's 2 games that have already been played, like with the 49ers and stuff and the Vikings. Like let's just let the week happen and then I'd rather do it on a fresh week the Giants are playing the Vikings. I'd rather do it then.
Yeah.
Just, like save some ammo here. We're already at 1 hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah. Kind of a long video.
Yeah. All right.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Damn.
What'd you say?
You gotta keep something in a clip. That's probably not. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Like this video. Please comment your take on Rodrick's ridiculous claim of comparing Kobe Bryant to RJ Barrett.
And bro, leave his Instagram in the comments.
Yeah, if you want to blast the guy, you can do that. So can you do me a favor? Like this video, please subscribe. Hopefully you're not as, making stupid claims as Rodrick, again, comparing RJ Barrett to Kobe Bryant. I don't want to ever hear that from someone again. That's just a pretty delusional take here. Next week, it's gonna be a huge episode. The Giants are facing the Minnesota Vikings. There will be some Giant fans here to kind of gang up on Rodrick Paulus. But basically, it's going to be a pretty interesting episode. Rodrick's going to be alone. I don't know if maybe he can bring a Minnesota fanboy with him. He can find one from wherever. You got one, Rodrick? You're going to bring a Minnesota fan?
Yeah, I have a group chat full of like 40 plus people, buddy. Yeah, I got somebody who can get on.
That's so embarrassing.
I got a whole state of Giant fans.
Really? No, you can't count South Jersey. Can't count them.
Philly fans.
Yeah, you have North Jersey. You only have half of that because there's the Jets too.
And then Central Jersey, same thing. And then Cowboy fans.
Yeah, Cowboy fans. We're not gonna talk about those. We hate Cowboy fans. No matter what team you're rooting for, we have to hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But anyways, Russell and us out here.
I got one more take. I got one more.
Make it quick, please. Make it quick.
I will.
No dumb takes, please.
I'm coming out the closet as an RJ Barrett fanboy.
All right. We'll see you on the next video.
Yeah, please like this video and subscribe. We'll see you on the